onto the back. Just going to start with some breathing and movement, syncing up. Let's just go ahead and take a nice full stretch. Keep those arms up, back over the head. Let the fingers float off the ground. Extend out through those fingertips. If you like, you can hook the thumbs together and give yourself a little bit more extension to that upper body. Then go ahead and flex out the toes in front of you, stretch them out over the edge of the mat. Then just go back and forth, waking up those feet, stretching out through the ankles, press out through your heels as you draw the toes back towards you like you're kicking into a wall. And then flexing them back out over the edge of the mat. Let's go ahead and exhale all the air out of the body. And then take a nice full inhale deep down into the belly at the little point right below the navel, and feel your torso start to fill up from the bottom up into the chest, filling out through the side ribs. Nice big breath in there. And then on the exhale, just bring some movement as you contract and bring the knees in, and feel that contraction start to squeeze the air out of the body. So starting to bring the thighs in towards those ribs. You can hug yourself around, grabbing for the shins or the kneecaps. And we're just going to move back and forth a few times, syncing breath and motion. So inhale, find that length through the spine, through the arms, out through the fingertips, toes, big breath in here. Exhale, contract and round. A little side to side rock if you like on that low back. Inhale, lengthen. Fill up. Reach, expand. Exhale, contract. Everything back in. If you like a little bit more, maybe bringing nose up into the knees. And stay in this little curl. Just back off for a little bit. Fill back up through the ribs. Fill out through the side ribs. Deep breath in. And then on that exhale, contract in a little bit more as you draw the knees in towards the chest. Thighs in towards the ribs. Get to the bottom of that exhale. Squeeze the belly a little bit more. Any still stagnant breath you're holding, let go. Right, we're going to let the right foot just fall down to the mat. We're going to take the left foot out nice and long. Inhale those arms back up overhead. Floating those fingertips off the ground, and maybe floating that left heel off the ground just an inch or two. And then just start to have a little pulse in that extended leg. Feel the core start to engage. Breathe into the belly. And as the belly starts to engage and you feel that core start to fire up, keep that breath moving. A lot of times when we say engage the belly, or we're trying to kind of firm up through the core, we start to hold that breath and shorten the breath. So try to just use this as a little bit of practice to engage the belly, but keep that breath moving freely and fully. More pulses here, feeling it in the side ribs. Take one more inhale as you lengthen out, deep breath in. And then on the exhale, we're just going to curl that left knee in towards the chest. If you like, you can reach your fingertips towards your heels and go ahead and bring your shoulders up off the mat. Inhale, find length. Leg goes long, deep breath. Exhale, contract. So if you're adding those shoulders on, you're going to add a little bit more engagement in the belly, reaching towards those heels. And then just back and forth here with your breath. Finding length, filling up, exhale, contracting, squeezing it all out. Holding that little squeeze when you come up. Few more of those at your own pace. Let's go one more wherever you are. Nice and long on that inhale. Nice and slow contraction. Exhale, squeeze it out. Hold it at the top. Let it go. Left arm goes down. Just relax the arms. Relax the belly for a minute. Rebalance through your hips. And then extend out through that right foot. Arms go back up overhead. Float the arms up off the mat. If you like, go ahead and float that right heel up an inch or two. Find that extension. Good morning, Paul. Your ribs like to pop up when you have your arms up overhead. So see if you can kind of seal your ribs back down. So it's kind of like a clamshell that opens up. So if you can pull your lower ribs down, kind of sealing and firming up through the belly, but you're breathing. Again, firming up, active through the belly, but keep the breath moving down into the navel. Pulse a few times here. Same thing you'd be doing if you're doing any type of balance pose. Deep breath in, a few more pulses. On the exhale, we're going to contract. So right knee goes in. If you like, maybe adding those shoulders coming up off the mat. Reach through those fingertips towards the heels. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round and contract. A few more at your own pace. Feeling that engagement. It's not just in the belly, but through the side ribs and to your low back as well. The entire 360 circumference of the core, kind of thinking of a tree trunk. So firm in the center. Go one more of these. Nice and slow. Exhale, contract. Squeeze it in. Let it all go. Just let the foot come down. Relax the belly for a minute. You can kind of use the fingertips, soften through the side and ribs. Just give yourself a little massage. Relax the belly muscles, side rib muscles. Right. We're going to go ahead and slide those heels back towards the glutes as much as you can. Firm up through the inner thighs. So bring the knees together. Give yourself a little internal squeeze on the inner thigh. Arms back up overhead. Again, engaging that belly as the ribs like to open up and pop up. Give them a little squeeze down. Keep the breath moving. Deep breath in here. On the exhale, we're going to round up. Shoulders can come up off the mat slightly. If you need a little bit more support on the back of the head and the neck, you can take the fingertips towards the back. Otherwise, just reaching up towards the heels. Inhale and lengthen. Deep breath in. Exhale, curl up nice and slow with control. Inhale back down. Let's go ahead and go off to the right side. Big breath in. On the exhale, reaching fingertips out over the right edge of the mat. Take one breath here. Squeeze it up a little bit more. Feel that in the side rib. Inhale back to center. Exhale up through center. Inhale back down. Exhale off to the left side. Squeeze and hold. One breath. Inhale back to center. Let's just go through that cycle. One breath, one movement. Up to center. Back down. Big breath in. Exhale off to the right. Inhale back down. Back to center. Hello, core. Good morning. Inhale. Exhale off to the left. Squeeze and hold it. And relax. Relax the belly. Go ahead and take the feet out to the edges of the mat. Just a gentle windshield wiper side to side. Feeling that in the hips, but also feels really good in those ribs as you're just giving a little stretch. Kind of feel the skin stretch from the top of the hip to the bottom of the rib as the knees drop off to one side. You can pause wherever feels good. Arms can be out to a T. Back and forth. Everything back into center. We're gonna roll up to a cat and cow. You can either just go off to one side if you like. Go up and down the length of your spine. You can grab for the backs of the thighs. Give yourself a little bit more support. And bring yourself up to the tabletop. All right. Middle finger facing up towards the center and front of the mat. Thumbs facing in towards each other. Spread those fingers nice and wide. And line those shoulders right up over those wrists. Lining those hips right up over those knees. Wake up the tops of those feet a little bit. And press the top of your feet nice and firmly into the mat. Drop the belly down. Lift your tailbone up, lift your gaze up. A big breath in. Exhale, round and contract, push the mat away. Drop that gaze down. Look back towards the belly. Spread those scapula apart. Inhale, rock up. Stay. Breath and move. Working through that spinal flexion. Pause anywhere it feels good. More cycling here. Just get warmed up. Balance everything out back in the center. Let's go ahead and stand out through that right foot. Fire up through the leg, belly engage. So pull the belly button up and in. Clamshell those lower ribs down. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Breath in. Exhale, round and contract. Knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Find length. Exhale, contract. Push the mat away. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. Stand back out, gazes up, but you're not sinking into the shoulders, so a little press up out of the shoulder girdle. Just going to look off to the right side. We're just going to swing that foot out over towards the right, active through the heel, and then just swing it all the way back. Look back towards the left corner of the mat, maybe touch it down, and then just back and forth, nice and slow. Feel that in the hip. The gaze follow along with the leg. Maybe tucking that toe under, flexing out through that calf. Fire that leg up all the way off to the right side. Act that leg. Let the foot come down. Walk the hands in just a little bit here. Go ahead and take a twist. Left hand in front of the face and just take the right arm up across the chest. Lift up. Deep breath in. Circle out through the wrists. Press into that left hand that's planted and just a little bit more twist in the torso to open up through the chest. Spinning the top right ribs back and up. One more breath. Exhale, let it go. Hands in front of the face. Stay here. Or if you like a little bit more, maybe dropping down to the elbow. You're going to feel that a little bit more on that inner right thigh. Otherwise, stay up high. You can also have a block in front of you if you need to. Bringing the ground up towards you. Nice big breath onto that right inner thigh. Maybe reaching out through that right foot a little bit more. Trying to keep the toes facing forward as much as you can. One more breath here. If you're low, go ahead and come back up to the hand. Walk the hands back. So go ahead and firm up through the inner thighs and hips. Starting to firm up through that trunk of the tree. Inhale, lift up and rise. Nice and tall. Deep breath. Exhale, slide it down the leg. And spin those left ribs up and back. Nice and open through the side body. Deep breath in. Find that length. Take that side body stretch. One more breath. Beautiful. Exhale, let it go. Fire up that inner thigh. Pull that leg back. From the back, no alignment with the hips. Maybe a little rock side to side. Probably feeling it a little bit more in that right hip right now. Balance everything back out. All right, set yourself up, second side. Active through that left leg. Push through the heel, flex the toes down. Checking if you're sinking into those shoulders. So pull up through the belly. Lift up through the chest. Nice firm leg. Deep breath in. Exhale, curl and round in. Push the mat away. Create a little bit more space for that knee to come in towards that nose. Inhale, right. Exhale, right. So two more of those. Squeeze it in. Inhale up. Then just back and forth, just out of the leg, through the hip. Let the gaze fall along, back over the back edge of the mat. Maybe tuck the toe, add a little calf stretch if you like. Swing it out. Lift up through that inner thigh on the left side. Active in that foot flex. Back and forth. Over to the left side. Kick out through that foot. Place it down. Start to walk the hands in. Take that little twist. Right hand in front of the face. Inhale, left arm up and down. Open through the chest. Spin those left ribs open. 3. Wrist circles if you like. Gaze can be up or down, whatever feels comfortable in the neck. One more breath. Exhale, let it go. And back down in front of the face. Get nice and tall. Or if you're okay, maybe drop into elbow. Forearm. Maybe stretching out through that left foot. Another quarter inch or two. And as you sink, or if you stay up high, just feeling a little bit more length in that inner left thigh. Into the hamstring. Breathe into that space. Nice and easy. One more cycle of breath. Nice and slow. Go low. Start to bring yourself back up. Walk the hands back towards the leg. Firm up through the inner thighs. Firm up through the core. Nice big open spine here. Deep breath in. Exhale. Slide it down. Spin the top ribs up and back. Go up, 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 and then start to take that side body stretch. Feel it in your ribs. Feel it in that little space between the top of the hip and bottom of the ribs. Stretch out through that skin. Find opening anywhere you can. One more breath. Exhale, release. That's the slow. Charge with that left foot. Bring it back in line. Or rock side to side. Try to bring the knees together, heels together. And then just slide those hands right back alongside those thighs. Bring the ribs towards the tops of the thighs. You can grab through your heels. Go ahead and do so. And just nestle the nose down. Let the crown of the head fall. And just kind of think about a little reverse breathing here. Typically, we're thinking about breathing into the front of the chest, front of the rib. So kind of flip the script a little bit and think about your back here. Bringing the breath into the back like it's the front of the chest. Feel the expansion through your back, through the backside ribs. Relax your belly and the muscles and your ribs against your thighs. Just let the breath happen naturally here. As the weight of your head nice and relaxed. A little pull on the heels. One more breath here, nice and slow. Into the back. Feel the expansion. Feel the opening. Nice, slow exhale. Relax the ribs on the thighs. Get to the bottom of that exhale. A little squeeze of that lower belly. Anything you're holding on to, let it go. Right, if you grab for your heels, go ahead and release. Start to bring the head up nice and slow. We'll walk the hands forward. Same position with the thumbs towards each other, those middle finger up towards the front of the mat. And go ahead and tuck the toes under. Start to bring up the kneecaps slightly, do a little bit of a crouch here, pull the hip back, and then start to lift up and down. Up. One heel down and then the other, shortening up the stance. Work through those heels, work through the calves, work up into the hamstring. Check in with those elbows if they're splayed out. Turn those elbow creases in towards each other, rotating them towards the top of the mat. One more breath here. Lift up through the heel, lift up through your chin. Exhale, pulling your heart space back towards thighs, descend heels down into your mat. And we'll start to walk the hands back towards the feet. Your heels will start to drop down as they go back with the back of the mat. Halfway lift, hands on shin, maybe top of the thighs. Pull those hip bones back. Reach the crown of the head forward. Yeah, exhale, hinge and fold forward. Grab for the backs of the calves here. Elbows come out nice and wide. Pull your heart space towards your thighs. Relax the head. Maybe shake the head yes and no. Wiggle the jaw side to side if you're holding any tension in the face. You can just let that go. Soften the crease of the brow. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hinge and fold. Bend those knees a lot. Start to draw the energy up through the heels into the legs as you roll up through the spine. Fingertips go out nice and wide. Big extension through the fingers. Inhale, let go. Gaze to follow. Do a little back bend here as you bring the hips forward. Exhale, palms slide down heart center. Pause here in mountain pose. Firm up by pulling the kneecaps up and in slightly. Lifting up through the crown of your head, nice and tall. And then feeling the weight drop in your hips down to your heels. Inhale, lift up, deep breath. Exhale, pull the hips back as you reach forward and fold. Speaking breath and movement, halfway lift. Exhale. Start to walk the hands forward. Come into a plank pose here. Modify your plank if you need to by lowering knees down. Active in the belly, but we're breathing, right? Lower ribs are pulling down and in, pressing up out of those shoulders, pressing out through the heels, and then reaching forward with the crown of your head out over the ribs. Stay here for a breath. A little shaking's good. If you want a little bit more, maybe float one foot off the ground an inch or two. Maybe a little pulse here. Feel that in the low back. 360 core work. Other side if you like. Drop those knees anytime. Deep breath in. On the exhale, everyone lower knees down. Untuck those toes. Start to lower the down. Keep the elbows drawn into the ribs. Rock those hips side to side. Get into the shoulders a little bit. Left arm out to a T. Spread through those fingers nice and wide. Right arm right underneath the shoulder. And then we're going to go ahead and take that right foot and just bring it back behind the left. So rolling back, feeling that in the shoulder head. Only goes as good as it feels in the body. The shoulder will let you know. So that right foot has a little kickstand. Reaching through those left fingertips. Take a nice big breath into that space. Stay for one more breath. Inhale, maybe rolling back just a little bit more, filling up. Exhale, nice and slow. Roll back down. Everything back into center. Little rock side to side, balance everything out through those hips. Right arm out to a T. Set yourself up, second side. Through those fingertips, left arm right underneath the shoulder head. As you start to roll over onto that right shoulder, left leg, bend the knee. Add that little kickstand. Breathe into that space. One more breath here. Nice and slow exhale as you start to roll back down. Release everything back to center. Balance out through the hips. Slide into a Sphinx pose. Elbows right underneath those shoulders. Active in those fingertips. Maybe lift one leg up and just reach it back. Just adding a little bit more connection with your pelvis, with the tops of your thighs. Press into those hands and lift up out of the shoulders as much as you can. Crown of the head, nice and lifted, nice and long neck. The turtle coming out of its shell. Press into the mat. Pull your heart space through the shoulders like you're dragging the lower half of your body. Feel that low back. Deep breath in. On the exhale, we're going to press into the forearms. We're going to drop our gaze down towards the belly. If it's okay, maybe starting to lift up the rib, maybe lifting up through the thighs. Probably a little shaking going on here. A little squeeze of those inner thighs. Core working here. All the way, 360. Inhale back down. Relax for a moment. Do that a few times at your own pace. If you need to come out of it, go ahead and do so. Maybe it's just the ribs coming up. Maybe the thighs are going along with it. Find your range of mobility. One more if you can. Inhale back to center. Stay for one more breath. Lift up in that heart space. Exhale, relax. Slide the arms back alongside the legs here for a minute. Just give yourself a little rock side to side. Relax the shoulders here. Maybe turn the head to one side. Big breath in, big breath out. All right, crown of head back to center. Arms underneath shoulders. Option here to go back to tabletop or just back straight into plank pose. Nice big breath in here. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Press out through that heel, find lift and length. Nice big breath in. On the exhale, push that mat away, knee towards the nose. Let that foot drop towards the front of the mat. We're dropping into a low lunge. Left foot forward, build your foundation, nice and slow. Check in with those hips. You want to pull those hip points up and back. Tailbone drops here. Maybe palms to the top thigh, maybe hands to heart. You're lifting up through your crown. You're dropping into the hips. Hands are going to come down. We're going to tuck the back toe, building up through our foundation nice and strong. Press into that big toe, press into that front heel, start to draw the energy up into that front leg. Drop into the back knee for a bit. Now press out through that back heel. You pull that knee up and in. Firm up through that back leg. Like coming into pressing. Roll the shoulders back. Reach back. Open the chest. Reach forward with the crown of the head. Kind of a little skier's lunge here. Try not to let your ribs rest too much on that front thigh. Active in the belly, but we're breathing. Go ahead and take the arms forward, adding a little bit more challenge. Reaching up and out through the fingertips, extending through those side ribs, pressing out through that back heel. We've got our root and our reach going in two opposite directions. Keep the breath moving between the two. Inhale, lift it up. Deep breath in. Add a little cactus back bend if you like. Pulling the elbows back. Keep that back foot nice and firmed up. That's going to add your stability. One more breath. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale down. And shift the weight into that front foot. Going to drag that back foot forward. Going to bring that right knee up, come into a little bounce. You need to take a little break here. Go ahead and do so. A lot going on that left leg. Firm up through the core. Firm up through the trunk of the tree. Deep breath in. Keep your gaze steady. Exhale, let it go. Shake it out. North sun. All right, here we go. Keep it moving. Inhale, lift, rise. Exhale, send you down. Hips back, crown forward. Halfway lift, wipe the slate clean. Exhale, fold. Plant those hands. Big step back. Plank holds. Modify if you need to. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower knees, chest and chin. Pouring down all the way to the belly of the sphinx. Deep breath in. Exhale, look back towards the heel. Feel the breath in the ribs on the opposite side you're looking. Notice how the shape changes. Inhale back. Exhale off other direction. Inhale back to center. Exhale, lower down. Back up through tabletop or plank pose. Or meet in downward facing dog. Second side, right leg up to the sky. Three-legged dog. Press out through that heel. Deep breath in. On the exhale, start to curl and contract. Knee towards the nose. Push the mat away to create some space for that foot to land. If it stops short, reposition yourself. Build a solid foundation before you start to come up. Lift up. Check it with those hips. Tails down. Hip points up. Sink down. Lift up through your breath. Inhale. Lift up. Exhale, arms down. Tuck the back toes. Pull that back knee up. Build stability in that front foot. Firm through the heel. Front big toe is going to plant down towards the mat. Sink in that back knee. Firm up through the left. Push out through the heel. Active in that glute. Roll those shoulders back to open the chest. Reach back towards your back heel. Reach forward with the crown of the head. Breathe. Active through the arm. One line of energy from the back heel all the way up, out through those fingertips. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, cactus, a little back bend. One more breath. Exhale, let it go. Shift the weight into that front foot. Go ahead and drag up through that back move. Take a break if you need to. Add a little balance. You can also just be down here if you want to do a little kickstand. Keep breathing. Exhale, let it go. Does everybody feel good? Good. All right, let's just take this feet nice and wide for a minute here. Give these legs just a little bit of a break. Nice and soft in the bend in your knees. Not about locking out through our hamstrings right now. I just want to kind of let everything settle in the body, the energy. Inhale, open up nice and wide. Reach back with your fingertips. Press out through your palm. Open through the chest. Hips come forward a little bit. Think about stretching and opening through the front of the body. So through the chest, through the belly, through the hips. Nice big breath in. On that exhale, go ahead and grab your hip creases and pull your hips back as you reach that crown of the head. Forward, forward, forward. and then just fold it. Again, a little bend in the knees. More about just slowing down that central nervous system, relaxing through the neck, creating a long spine, blocks in front of the face if you need to. Forearms to blocks, maybe hands reaching back through the leg, maybe hands grabbing for backs of calves or thighs to give yourself a little extra support. Toes are slightly in, heels are slightly out. Nice firm base. Wiggle your jaw, shake your head yes and no. Nice big breath into the back. Hinge and fold forward a little bit longer on that exhale. So one more breath. And slow. Inhale up halfway just to bring a little bit more blood flow back into the head. Heel toe the feet back towards each other. Step back towards the top of the back. Inhale halfway there. Exhale, hips and fold. Plant those hands. Big step back, plank hold. And push on back, downward facing dog. Left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Big breath in. Exhale, send it all the way up to the hands. This time we'll stay in that high lunge. Take your time, build your foundation. Make sure your feet aren't kind of on that tightrope. So your feet are about hip width distance. So you have a nice wide stance here. Nice firm balance. Firm up through that back leg. Inhale, hold it up. Breath in. Go ahead and round those shoulders back. Reach back towards those heels again. Reach out over that front leg. You bring the palms towards heart center. To shift our weight into that front leg. Maybe drag the back foot in a little bit more. Option here. Hands can go to blocks. You can go into a three-legged, if I say, a standing split. Or if you're ready, you can go into warrior three. Pull up through that back foot. Firm up through your belly. Active in that back foot. So you're pressing out through that heel. Option here, hands to block, hands to the ground. Have a bend in that front knee if you need to. Add the airplane arms if you like. Wherever you are, breathe. Find your balance. If you fall out of it, just get back in. Exhale, come back down in that back foot. Hands down. Big step back. Let's all take a child's pose. Option to have the knees together and just taking a small child's pose. Give yourself a little break on those hips. You want a little bit more wide hips back towards those heels. Just let the energy settle in the body. Let the breath, heartbeat settle back into the chest. One more breath, nice and slow. Just bring yourself back up nice and easy. If the knees are apart, go ahead and bring them towards each other. Tuck those toes, little mini crouch as those hands are forward. Work your way back up into your downward dog. All right, second side, right leg up and back. Three-legged dog. Exhale, send it all the way forward. Build the foundation. Firm up, nice and strong. Feel shaky, rebalance, reset. No rush. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. Exhale, sink into that front leg. Roll those shoulders back. Reach back, open the chest, reach the crown of the head forward. Press into your front big toe, sink into the heel, palms towards heart center. Shift the weight into that front leg. Maybe start to pop that back foot up a little bit, add the balance. You're in Warrior 3, that hip likes to rotate open. So that left foot, you want to rotate the toes down towards the mat, squaring the hips off as much as possible. Blocks available here. You can always go into a standing split, a little bit more stable there. Airplane arms if you like. Full expression of the pose. Listen to the body. Shaking is good. Gently come down in that back foot. All right, hands down. Big step back. Deep breath in. Exhale. Untuck those toes. Little roll side of those hips. Place one hand on top of each other and just turn your head to one. Soften through the ribs. Relax through the belly muscles. And again, a little reverse breathing here. So soften the front of the body. Just feel that sort of connected towards the mat as if it's just part of the mat. Then as the breath enters the body, think about bringing it into your back, into the scapula, into the back ribs. And then on that exhale, soften through the ribs even a little bit more. Do a little reverse breaths there, nice and slow into the back. Let's go one more cycle here. Nice, slow exhale out. Head back towards center. Slide hands underneath the shoulders. We're just going to push yourself all the way up and back. And then just rock off to the side when your legs forward. If you happen to have a block, go ahead and place one off to the side. If you don't, no big deal. Use that as a little different point of focus. Come onto your tailbone. Kind of sit back on your tail. Bring those thighs together. And go ahead and grab underneath those thighs. Just pull the thighs up and in a little bit. Flex and point the toes down. Just a little mini boat hold. Grab onto your backs of your thighs and lift up and open your heart space. So the shoulders are rounded. Pull the shoulders back. Toes are down. This might be it for you. Want a little bit more. Maybe extending out through one foot. Active through the heel. Lift up through the chest. Add the other one if you like. Maybe add those on. One more breath. Exhale, release. Lift up on your tail, pull it back. Pull the thighs or the knees in and just give yourself a little bit of a squeeze. You can grab for underneath the thigh. You can just grab for the fronts of the shin. Then just pull your nose down and in. Just give yourself a little counter stretch here. Nice big breath over the back. Contract and squeeze on the exit. Relax and fill up on the end. All right, crown of the head comes back up. Get back onto the tailbones. Lift up and just bring your tail forward a little bit. Just gonna go one more cycle. Flex those toes down, grab the backs of the thighs if you like. Add the legs. If you have your block, go ahead and grab it. Reach it out in front of you. Breath in. Exhale, take it off to the side. Inhale back. Exhale off to the side. You can fall over. You're not going very far. Just do that one more time. Breath in, squeeze and hold. Exhale, let it go. Legs out in front of you. Lift up and pull those hips back a little bit. Get in front of those sitting bones. Pull the flesh out of the way if you need to. Flex through the feet. Press out through the heels. Toes are coming back toward. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. Pull the thigh bones down. Exhale, hinge and fold. Bend in the knees if you need to. Grab for whatever you can get a hold of. Tops of thighs, shins, maybe the feet. Next inhale, bring your chin up and forward. Reach out through that turtle shell. Pull back in your hips. Deep breath in. Exhale, hinge and fold. One more breath. Nice slow exhale out. Hands come back alongside the back. Let's go ahead and take the left foot, bring it in towards the inner thigh. Active in that right foot. Inhale, lift up nice and tall, and just turn shoulders, squaring them up over the hips. Breath in. And exhale, just let it fold down. Big breath into the back. Softening through that inner thigh on the right side. Pull your thigh bone down. Feel that stretch, maybe extend out through that right foot a little bit more. Nice slow breath here. Back and in. Turn shoulder back over that extended leg. Reposition in the hips a little bit if you need to. Deep breath in. Exhale, lining up the sternum with that leg. Exhale, hinge and fold. You want a little bit more, you can grab for the outer edge of that foot or calf. Twist the torso, look back over towards the right side, and then exhale, fold into it. One more breath. And so release. And back up. Nice and slow. Go ahead and reach under that extended leg. And then switch side. Nestle that foot right at the base of that inner thigh. Turn those shoulders, square them up over the hips. Deep breath in. Reach up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inner left thigh working here. Press that foot into it. Feel that stretch. Breathing. Slowing down the breathing. A few seconds more than when we started or when you were moving a little quicker. Think of filling up through the sponge. Backing off the stretch on the inhale. Contracting, letting the weight of your body draw you down. Feeling that stretch on the exhale. It's not just this constant like forcing a stretch and trying to just press down, press down, press down. Back off, kind of go back and forth. That's how you're going to build a little bit more capacity and a little bit more length in that stretch, as opposed to just trying to force something and injure something. So one more breath. Stay for the exhale. Take your time, back out of it, nice and slow. Reposition shoulders. Line everything back up. Reposition the hips a little if you need to. Nice deep breath in here. A little turn over, sternum over that leg. Add that little bit of twist if you like. Just noticing how that breath changes shape as you change the shape of your body. Bringing that breath into spaces we don't normally pay attention to. Cleansing, bringing blood flow. Using that breath, lengthen out through that stretch. One more cycle. Stay for the exhale. Unwind. Walk back up. And we're just going to stop. So we're working on those inner thighs, stretching out. Roll the shoulders back, open the chest. If you can, maybe press down, lift up through your hips, and press out through your heels. It's going to add a little bit more extension. Start to bring your chest forward, a little rock side to side, kind of getting in front of those sit bones. Take the inner thighs and just roll them open a little bit more. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. Bend in the knees if you need to. Try to keep these feet active so they're not just kind of hanging out. That's going to protect your knees. Deep breath in. Exhale, just let it fold forward wherever they land. Maybe they don't land. Maybe they're just on your thigh. Feel this obviously in those hamstrings, but also in those inner thighs, into the pelvis. I feel this one tomorrow, I think. Inhale, lift up through the chin, extend out through the turtle shell, lift, 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 lift. Exhale, hinge and fold a little bit. Find your edge, breathe into that space, back off on the inhale, contract and fold on the exhale. We'll be here for about 3 minutes. Okay, 3 breaths. Nice and slow, lengthen out that breath. Little rock side to side, maybe in the shoulders. Right. When you're ready, take your time. Start to walk the hands back in first. Help yourself out underneath those thighs. Pull thing. Heels together. Nice counter stretch. Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. Pull those heels in any amount that feels good. Little rock side to side in those hips. Grab for the shins or grab for ankles. And then shoulders are rolled forward. Roll them back. Rock forward in your hips. Lift up your chest as much as you can. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Relax the inner thighs. Deep breath in. All the way to the point right below the navel. Fill up the torso from the bottom, back up to the top. On that exhale, just feel the shoulders pull away from the ears a little bit more. The chest opens a little bit more. Broaden through the collarbones. Relax the throat. One more breath here. Nice and slow. Watch it build. Watch it expand. Stay for the exhale, nice and slow. Shoulders drop back. Feel the weight in your hips drop. Get to the bottom, squeeze your lower belly. Any last stale, stagnant breath you're holding, let it go. Get you a nice bit more space for that next inhale. All right. Let's take that a little bit more. Relaxing on those hips, a little side to side. Go forward fold again here, one a little bit more. Maybe sliding hands underneath the shins and calves. Starting to hinge and fold forward. Walk the fingertips forward, spread them out nice and wide. Pull back in the hips, lift up through the crown of your head. This is tortoise pose. So give yourself a nice little reach up out of the tortoise shell. Lengthen through that neck. and hinge and fold back down in the mount. Feeling this on the outer hips now. See where you can soften, see where you can let go. One more breath here. Back off on the inhale, stretch on that exhale. All the way to the bottom of the breath. Front of the head up, nice and slow. Pretzel yourself. Yourself a little extra help on those knees. Extend out through the legs. One more time. Let's just do one more forward fold here. Deep breath in. Exhale, hinge and fold. Relax those outer thighs and hips. Little shake side to side. So back up. Go ahead and drop back or back. All right, knees up and into the chest. Take a moment here. Pull your tailbone down towards the earth. Take a nice inhale. Try to keep your tailbone down and then start to pull those knees up and into the chest. Feel a nice stretch for your low back. Feeling a stretch into the hips, where the tops of the thigh bones go into the hip sockets. Give yourself a little stir back and forth there. One more breath. Go and cross the right knee over the left knee. Stack up the knees, go ahead and do so. So you're pulling the kneecap towards each other. It might be a lot. If that's a little too much, you can kind of just go with the figure four. But what we're trying to do is work those inner thighs a little bit more. So stack up through the knees. If you can go ahead and grab for the outer edges of your feet, or maybe just grabbing for the calves or the shin bones, pull the feet in the opposite direction as you draw the knees up and into the chest. Kind of a little shoelace pose on the back. Find your stretch. Relax those inner thighs. Take a nice big inhale, you back off. Then exhale, squeeze back in. Same thing happens. Your tailbone likes to pop up. And at the same time, as you're drawing the knees into the chest, pull your tailbone down. You'll add a little bit more stretch through the hips, through the thigh bone. One more breath here, nice and slow. Stay for the exhale. You squeeze the knees in towards the chest a little bit more. Maybe you're pulling those feet in opposite directions a little bit more. Tailbone squeezing down. And relax, unwind. Maybe let the knees go wide for a minute here. Just relax those inner thighs. Bring the heels down. Maybe just bounce the hips a little bit here. Relax, release anything you're holding, any tension. Give the legs a little shake out. And then set yourself up for that second side. So the left knee over the right knee. Again, if that's a little too intense, you can just kind of go into the figure four. You usually have that ankle right on top of the knee. Maybe you can slide it a little bit past, so you're just starting to bring the knees towards each other. Otherwise, pulling those feet in opposite directions. Yourself a little rock side to side. Nice big inhale here. On that exhale, start to bring that knee in towards the chest. At the same time, pulling the hip bones down, tailbone down. We're feeling a little resistance there. So 2 more full cycles of breath here, nice and slow. Deep breath in. Back on that exhale. Unwind yourself. Take a happy baby here, nice and wide, feet up towards the sky, maybe grabbing for outer edges of the feet, maybe grabbing for big toes with peace fingers. Nice big inhale. On that exhale, draw the knees down towards the armpits. Pull your tailbone back down. See if you can firm up your low back with the mat. Gentle rock side to side. Anything else that calls to you before we settle into Shavasana, go ahead and do so. Maybe legs up to the sky. The bridge pose, if you need a little twist. When you're ready, just go ahead and take that final stretch, that full body stretch that we started with. Deep breath in and find that extension through those fingertips. Stretch out through those feet. Nice big breath in. Exhale, contract one last time. Knees into chest. Maybe nose comes up with it. And then extending out through the legs. Let them go long. Bring the heels out towards the corners of the mat. Let the toes turn out. Any option with the arms you like. Hand on the heart, hand on the belly, maybe palms face up. Just let that energy, that prana settle in the body, settle in the belly, settle in the heart, in the throat, throughout the chakras. Bringing everything a little bit more into balance, smoothing everything out. Just checking in if there's anywhere you might still be unknowingly holding tension. Are you squinting the eyes a little bit too much? Are you got a little crease in your brow? See where you can smooth back out. Let's return to just a normal, easy flow of breath. Stay with that breath here for a few final moments. Let that be your guide. You just enjoy the benefits of your practice. Just feeling out, tuning into the qualities of the moment, temperature on your skin, sounds in the distance, the rise and fall of your chest. Just settling into the stillness of the moment and just celebrating that fact that this is the only moment we are living and breathing right now. Allow me to call you back. All right, yogis, gently begin to deepen the breath and rock the head side to side. Any other small micro movements you can bring into the body that feel nice, moving fingers and toes. Bringing your hand over your heart, giving a little rub or a little tap there. You like taking one last full body stretch. When you're ready, rocking off to one side, keep the gaze soft or your eyes closed. Maybe a hand pausing on the earth for a moment, feeling that connection. And taking your time, pressing yourself back up to a comfortable seat whenever you're ready. Just go ahead and roll those shoulders up and back, open up, spread out through the collarbones, shoulders back, crown lifted. Slide those palms a little bit back, hold the elbows back a little bit, and just draw your chin back and in a little. Feel the bones stack up. Feel the head over the heart and heart over the hips. Feel that weight in your tail, rooting. Feel that lift in your crown, reaching. Just feel that breath between those two opposing forces. Feeling that union, feeling that yoga. Inhale, fingertips out nice and wide. Gaze to follow, lift up. Look up, big breath at the top. Exhale, bow down. Take a moment, thank yourself, showing up for your self-healing, self-exploration, and self-love. Always an honor for me to guide you in this practice and share it with you. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful day. Namaste. See you next week. You guys have a wonderful week. Thank you all.